Hello, hello, hello. This is Chrisia from Lightning English, and I'm here today with a lightning lesson for you. Today, we are going to talk about something that has come up quite a bit with many of my students over the years, and it is English grammar. And today's subject is oh, oh dear, we don't want that. Today's subject is the trouble with learning English grammar. And so, for the next few minutes, I'm going to be here sharing with you some of my experiences with English grammar, not only, well, not learning English grammar, but teaching English grammar. And some of my experience comes from trying to learn grammar in other languages. And this is no surprise to anyone. I didn't do well at grammar in other languages. And so, as an English teacher, it's really important to me to make sure that my students learn grammar in a way that works. So, let's start with the trouble with English grammar. And actually, I see we have a couple of people here live. Go ahead and write your name in the comments and say hi to me. If you're coming in live from my private Facebook group, then I'm not going to see your name when you write it. But feel free to write any comments and questions as we go, and I'll be happy to answer them. And so, yeah, what is the trouble with learning English grammar? Well, there are actually a few problems. I'm sure you'll agree. Go ahead and write in the comments if you have any problems with learning English grammar as well. But one of the main things that I see as an English teacher is that when people learn grammar, like by studying rules and actually studying the grammar, then it means that when they're speaking English, they have to think about these rules while they're talking. And it slows everything down. You can't think about what you're saying and the grammar rules and actually keep up a fluent conversation. So, thinking about grammar slows you down. And of course, it's also impossible to remember all of the grammar rules. Imagine you're about to make a sentence in English and you have to think about all of the grammar rules that apply to that sentence. It's ridiculously impossible and it does absolutely nothing for your fluency. So I'm going to say a quick hi to Cassia and Yamel. Great to see you here. So here we go. I'm going to share with you a few tips and a little bit of my experience and how I kind of get around some of these problems with English grammar, not just for myself, but also for my students. So, we know that English grammar is really, really important. In any language, the grammar is important. The language is made up of words, but it's how you put those words together that give them meaning, that make sure that what you're thinking and what you say gets interpreted by the other person to be the thing that you're thinking. So it's really important. Grammar is important. No matter what I say, grammar is important. But everyone really hates it so much, including myself. So um, I didn't enjoy teaching grammar the traditional way. I started teaching 17 years ago. I started teaching English and I realized that a big part of my job was teaching grammar. So I would get in front of the class and I would talk about, the present perfect continuous and here are the rules and here's the structure. And I realized that not only did I hate doing this because I remember studying French and studying Latin and hating learning grammar. So I hated teaching it. But I realized that most of my students also hated learning it, just like I had. I really hated learning this stuff. And I was standing there teaching it to other people who also hated learning it. And I also realized that learning it wasn't really helping them to apply it to their English. So my challenge at that point became how can I teach the necessary points and allow people to learn it in a way that is actually useful, that actually affects how they speak English? And that became like the biggest goal for me as a teacher. And this was, like I said, this is about 2 years into my teaching experience. The first 2 years, I kind of just went by the book. I was a bit nervous. I wasn't trying to do anything creative or innovative. I was just trying to get lessons. But I started to realize that what I was doing wasn't really working. It wasn't the best thing for my students. And I wanted my students to be successful at speaking English. So then I started to look at the real problem. And I realized, okay, do you need to know stuff like, oh, subjects invert positions with verbs in the interrogative main clauses? Like that's grammar speak. But do we actually really need to know that? If you have the sentence, you are tired, and you want to make it into a question, you change around you are to are you. Ta da, ta da, that's it. That is exactly the same thing, but without all of the grammar speak. So you are becomes are you in a question. I mean, come on, seriously? That doesn't feel like learning grammar. And I realized that learning grammar shouldn't be about learning the words to talk about what you're doing, the subjects, the invert, the interrogative, main clauses, and all of these different things, subordinate clauses. It's like learning a whole new language to talk about learning English. On top of learning English, you're learning grammar English, and that's completely unnecessary. So when I talk about grammar, I don't talk about all of the grammar terms. We just do the thing and then we practice doing it until it feels comfortable. And so for me, it's like and this goes for all of the grammar that I teach. It could be, I taught recently, I helped people to learn about reported speech. How do we talk about what someone else said? Instead of telling you all of the grammar rules, let's look at what we actually do, how we do it, and then practice. Practice doing it ourselves, practice listening to other people doing it and seeing other people doing it, and then practice doing it again and again, writing and speaking. So to me, this is how to learn grammar. You focus on the thing you need to do, and you don't stop and think about the rules when you need it. You do the thing, you practice doing it until it feels natural, until you can do it without thinking about it. And then it becomes a part of you. And you never need to learn the grammar terms for it. We don't need to learn the other language for talking about what we're doing. And so you can't the thing is you can't speak fluently if you're trying to like think about rules. So doing it this way, allowing you to do the thing and then practice it, is what will really help you to become fluent. And so my third point here is that practice is key. I want you to use the right grammar in English, not because you know the rules and this is the right rule. In fact, a lot of native English speakers break a lot of the rules in certain places. So, learning the rules isn't going to get you speaking really good English. But I want you to use the right grammar because it feels right and it sounds right. So, I'll give you an example. If you ask most native English speakers why we would say a crazy old man instead of an old crazy man, most people wouldn't be able to explain the grammar behind the order of the adjectives to you. I mean, that's not something that we even know about in everyday life for most native English speakers, but we do it because it sounds right. And everyone does the same thing because it sounds right. It just sounds wrong when you say, "Oh yeah, I saw an old crazy man." It doesn't feel right. Something feels wrong about it. And so I want you to get to this point where using the wrong grammar feels wrong and using the right grammar feels right. And when you can do that, that's how you become fluent in English. Not because you know the rules, but because it sounds right, it feels right, that is just the way it feels like it needs to come out. Of course, you can't do this without practicing. You need to practice. And, with for me, I have the lightning practice system. It is a comprehensive system that gets you in a short time every day. It gets you all of the practice you need to get the grammar, to get the vocabulary, to get these things flowing in a natural way. And in a relatively short amount of time, you start to get a feeling for the flow and the rhythm and the right feeling of English. And that's really, it's worth a million times more than any grammar rules, being able to say things because they feel right. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. But and thanks, Cassia. Cassia's saying here, let's see. I saying your name right? It says Cassia. It could be Kasia. Um, and you said it's true. Yeah. I mean, you say things in your native language because it feels right. You don't think about the grammar rules. You just say it because it feels right. You would never consider saying the wrong thing because it just doesn't feel right. And when someone says it wrong, it also feels wrong to you. That is because of the input that you've had. You've had this clean input of proper, the proper language for years and years. And it allows you to determine what sounds right and feels right. I can help you to do that in English as well. It doesn't take years and years. In fact, people who are using my system, have some improvement within the first few weeks. Now, here's the thing about grammar. I'm really excited about this. Okay. I'm putting together the Lightning Grammar System. I know some of you have seen it on social media. I've asked a few questions and asked for a little bit of input, but I'm putting together this program because, like I said, I've been teaching grammar this way for the last 15 years. I've been teaching for 17 years, but the way I'm teaching grammar, that's only been for the 15 years of that when I kind of woke up and realized that something needed to change. So, I have a question and I'm going to answer it in a second. So, I'm putting together the Lightning Grammar System. It's a workshop series. It's kind of a course, kind of workshops. I'm working on what the format is going to be because I want to take you through all of the common ways to talk about the past, the present, and the future in English without all of this grammar jargon. We are not going to be learning about the rules and the names of this tense and that tense. That's not what this is about. This is about how to do it. And we do it and we practice it and we talk about the differences between things. We say, okay, when I feel like this is how I need to say it. So that the way you use the grammar is actually, instead of being connected to the rules, it's connected to your feeling. So that when you feel a certain way, the grammar that suits the way you feel will be what you automatically use with the words. And when someone else says something, you'll be able to feel what they're trying to convey using their grammar. So I'm putting this all together, and it's the Light and Grammar System, and I'm really, really excited about it. And I'm giving you a chance to join the waiting list for this. I don't have dates yet because I'm still putting everything together, but you can join the wait list at lightningenglish.com/LGS. LGS is for the Lightning Grammar System. I've just put up a page with the wait list information, and there's a little video there telling you a little bit more about the wait list and about a little bit more about the Lightning Grammar System. But when if you come and join this system, this program, you're gonna find out a lot about English grammar that you didn't know before. It's gonna fill in the blanks in the things that you learned, the things that you've been hearing all this time, and maybe you thought you understood but you didn't. It's gonna add nuance and depth of meaning to your English without learning grammar rules. And I think that's the most important part because that's the thing. A lot of you have learned the grammar rules and it's not really helping you every time you need to speak. You're looking for fluency, you're looking to be comfortable in English, you're looking for confidence, and you don't get that from rules. You get that from practicing, from doing it right, from having help, from having someone walk through it with you and explain what it should feel like, and finding out ways to do this that feel natural. So that's what I'm working with. Now, I had a question here. Let me go back to it. Yeah, and I can't see your name, but I think this was Yamel. Hello, Yamel. And you said, can you explain a little bit more about your system? So I've actually mentioned two systems here. I have the Lightning Practice System, which takes 4 practice exercises. So 4 practice activities that you do each for 5 minutes a day, and you do them on your own without anyone else's help or without a teacher or anything. So it's 4 times 5 minutes a day, and it involves reading, writing, speaking, and listening. And when you do these things a specific way that I've come up with, and I've developed this, like I said, over the last almost 2 decades in teaching English. But when you do it this way, what happens is you start thinking in English. You start to be able to think without having to translate everything as you go. The Lightning Grammar System that I've mentioned today is really this way of teaching grammar where, again, you don't have to think about the rules. You can let things come out naturally and be right. So it takes a while. It takes a step by step process of learning what to do and practicing it, feeling it, using real examples from your real life so that you can actually, you know, get the feeling into what you're saying. So I hope that answers your question. And it looks like that's a yes. Great. So yeah, and if you want to know more, go ahead and join the wait list at lightningenglish.com/LGS. And I'll be sharing more information with those of you who are on the wait list. You don't have to buy it. When I come out with the program, you don't have to buy it just because you're on the wait list, but you will be first on the list. I'll be releasing it to the wait list first because there will be limited spaces. So if you're on the wait list, you'll be able to get in early before everyone else, before it fills up. But also between now and the beginning of, so it'll be coming out around February, March. And between now and then, I'll be in contact with you. I'll be sharing videos with you, some bonus material. I'll be getting some feedback from you about what's most important to you and what are your biggest problem areas, so that by the time I come out with a program, it'll be ready and suited to exactly what you need. So go ahead and join the wait list. Like I said, you don't have to buy anything. All it is an email waiting list, and you will get first preference. You'll kind of get VIP access to everything related to the Lightning Grammar System. So I hope to see you there. If you have any more questions, oh, okay, we already have Yamel. You have already enrolled. Thank you and welcome. Great. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you and being in touch with you about the Lightning Grammar System. So, I will be here again next week with another lightning lesson. Those of you on my mailing list will get information about what the lightning lesson is going to be about. But if you're here on my Facebook page or in my YouTube channel, you'll be, if you follow me, subscribe, or follow my page, join the lightning practice Facebook group. All of those places, I'm there and I'm posting information about my lightning lessons. So it's been great being here with you and good to see you out here live today. And I will see you next week, and keep in touch. Go ahead and drop me an email. I love hearing from you, and I do answer those emails. So take care and have a great week. Bye bye.